These are the 10 best climbs that you can ride in the world right now, according to us. We've been lucky enough to ride our bikes all over the world here at GCN, and based on our collective experience and knowledge, this is what makes the cut. But before we crack on, please do get involved in the comment section down below. What climbs have we missed and what climbs would you add? And whilst you're there, please do hit the subscribe button. Right, let's get into it. It's the Spanish Grand Tour, the Vuelta a España, which brought this climb to worldwide attention. The Alto de Angliru, a true challenge to complete. At 12.5 kilometers long, with an average gradient of 10%, but with ramps touching over 20% towards the end, when you're most tired, this climb quickly becomes a wall. 1,266 meters of elevation gain across the entirety. This climb is found in northwest Spain in the Asturias region, and it is absolutely stunning too, if you get a chance to look up from your stem. The Passo dello Stelvio almost needs no introduction. Found in the Lombardy region of Italy, this climb is 25 kilometers long, gains 1,850 meters of elevation gain across it, and tops out at 2,759 meters altitude. It is an absolute beast, and the hairpins at the top are a sight to behold. This climb rose to prominence in the Giro d'Italia, but if you really want to get a true sense of riding it, take it on before sunrise and see the light rise over the Alps at the summit before descending back down to Bormio for breakfast. If you're riding in the Swiss Alps, you need to try the Furka Pass, which is an absolutely iconic climb made famous by James Bond's Goldfinger and the Hotel Belvedere. This is another high altitude beast, topping out at 2,429 meters. Switzerland has a whole bunch of incredible climbs, and I think Furka Pass is arguably the best of the lot. Of course, you could try taking on pretty much all of them at once, like Ollie did at the Tour de Stations. 1,000 kilometers, 26,000 meters of elevation gain. Well done, mate. Not for the faint of heart. Switzerland is definitely for the climbers. Mount Lemmon in the USA is a monster, 45 kilometers long with an average gradient of 5%. It rises from the Arizona desert to an altitude of 2,795 meters, higher than the Stelvio. It's pretty incredible because there's cacti at the bottom and a ski resort at the top. And if you do complete it, do make sure to reward yourself with a trip to Cookie Cabin near the summit. Out into the Mediterranean Sea now and to Mallorca's Calobra. 9.5 kilometers long with an average gradient of 7%, but this climb has a catch because to complete it, first you have to descend it all the way down the dead end road to the sea before turning around and heading all the way back up. It is quite the dramatic climb. It cuts through the coastal landscape with 26 twisting hairpins. There's even a 270-degree turn, which makes this climb feel like quite the roller coaster. And if you are going to push on its slopes, a real benchmark is the 30-minute mark. Taiwan's Wuling Pass is colossal, 83 kilometers long, gaining 3,500 meters of elevation gain throughout. It's home to the Taiwan KOM Challenge, which races from the bottom to the top and is obviously a fierce challenge, but also home to some breathtaking scenery in the form of gorges, rainforest and alpine-esque landscapes. Ollie and Sai have both ridden it, and I've got to admit, jealousy doesn't begin to cover it. The Colombian Alto de Letras is another beast of a climb. 82 kilometers long, it tops out at 3,600 meters elevation, and at an average gradient of 4%, it gains a whopping 3,220 meters in one hit. Now, it is kind of a busy climb, but recently they've built a paved road on its other side, and this is named the Alto de Siphon, which is arguably the longest climb in the world at 115 kilometers, which is pretty crazy. Both deserving additions on this list. If you can ride up them, fair play. Cime de la Bonette is one of my personal favourite climbs and a giant in the French Alps. So I got the chance to ride this a few years back at the Inferno and agrees it's one of the best. Now, this is the highest pass in Europe, although that stat is actually contested due to the highest points being the ring road at the summit, not the actual pass itself. But either way, I love this climb. The views at the top of the high Alps are incredible, and on the south side, you'll get one of the best descents ever on a road bike, period. 23.3 kilometers long, tops out at 2,600 meters elevation with an average gradient of 6.8%. What a climb. I remember the first time I raced through Dolomites in Italy. It really is jaw-dropping. You have to see it to truly believe it. The Passo Giau is probably one of the most infamous climbs in the area. It's another high-altitude Italian pass, topping out at 2,236 meters, 10 kilometers long, with a stinging average gradient of 9.1%. It's an absolute classic, and the views of the iconic Dolomite peaks at the top are incredible. But what I would say, it's much easier to enjoy at a leisurely pace than in a race. The famous 21 hairpins of Alpe d'Huez. Some of the sport's most dramatic moments have happened on this climb, and riding up Alpe d'Huez is a pilgrimage through the history of cycling. Just under 14 kilometers long, with an average gradient of around 8%. It's actually the lower slopes which are steepest, and that can be somewhat of a surprise. Best time to ride this climb when the Tour de France is about to race up it. If you go up on the morning of the race, it is an incredible atmosphere, which I recommend entirely. But do make sure to stop at Dutch Corner and soak up that party atmosphere. There you go then, my list of the best climbs to ride around the world. But do get involved in the comment section down below. What would you have put on this list? And have you ridden any of these already? And what do you think? If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I'm looking forward to trying to take on some of these climbs actually here on GCN in the future. Hope you enjoy this one, and see you on the next.